So good morning, everyone. Hope you're good. Wherever you were watching from, appreciate you for tuning in. It's Saturday, and this is just a couple of minutes to 9. It's 8:40 a.m. and it's looking quite interesting out there. So it's a rainy day. It's been raining since I think over 6 hours now. It looks good. It looks good because whenever it rains, the weather is this amazing weather just pops up and it looks good on everyone. Anyways, there's this latest development that relates to Daniel Bwala and Peter Obi. I'm very well concerned about the response by netizens on Daniel Bwala. I'm not, I'm not, I'm not really into what these politicians say, but I'm really concerned about what the response from some of these netizens said to him. So I'm just going to start the story from the beginning, right from the top. What Daniel Bwala said and what people have been saying about Daniel Bwala. So let's start the story. Presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala has called out the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Peter Obi, over his recent criticism of the Bola Tinubu administration. Bwala, the special advisor on policy communication to President Bola Tinubu, suggested that Peter Obi should have no position on issues of June 12, 1993, since, according to him, the former Anambra State governor was in Asia buying and selling and has no record of participating in the struggle. Obi, during the Democracy Day celebration, called on Tinubu to follow the footsteps of former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan. Obi told the president to emulate ex-President Yar'Adua in accepting that the process through which he came to power was wrong. He also said the president should be like Jonathan, who saved Nigeria's democracy by accepting defeat. Peter Obi and his camp have always insisted that the 2023 presidential election was marred by irregularities and its results should not have stood. Obi also said that there is no democracy under the administration of Bola Tinubu. In a post on X on Friday evening, Bwala felt that the former governor should not comment on issues of democratic struggle in Nigeria. He wrote, quote, "Please, can someone confirm to me whether it is true that on June 12, 1993, and weeks after that, Peter Gregory Obi was in Malaysia or somewhere in Asia doing buying and selling trading business? I searched the internet to see any of his involvements in the struggle for democracy. I couldn't see any link." Meanwhile, some Nigerians commented under the posts by Bwala, who was a frontline critic of the Tinubu administration, but now a defender of the government. At Udo, D responded saying, "Can you show any evidence of Tinubu's involvement in the struggle for democracy during the period you referenced, aside from fleeing to London to cool off?" Ogudele even housed him at some point. Okay. One at Alfama wrote, "As at the time you mentioned, he was running a multi-million-dollar business. He ain't much older than you are, but I wonder where you were at the time. It is very nice that you said he was running a legitimate business, not that he was dealing drugs or laundering money. What do you mean by struggle for democracy? Most of those you referred to did whatever they did not for the sake of our country, but for the same reason of grabbing power, which they have been consistent with. Could every Nigerian have been in the field, marching on the street in a bid to return the country to civil rule? Did the Constitution say that it is only those who were on the ground at the time that can lay claim to the number one seat of Nigeria? Sometimes when some of you talk, I ask questions as to how your brains function. This one, Coleman 12 Francis says, you are a waste of legal education if you actually claim that you are a lawyer. Let us assume that Tinubu fought for democracy in 1993. Are you suggesting that he should be a life president? If fighting for democracy qualifies him to be the president, as your post suggests, what shall we say of those who fought for independence? What indices in Tinubu's government have shown that he has an idea what democracy means? Daniel Bwala, may hunger that made all these charlatans never leave you and yours now and generations. Oh my goodness. I mean, the savage response is wild. The savage response is unbelievable. You know, if you look at, in fact, let's even talk about democracy as the case may be, and even as it pertains to the leaders who purportedly fought for democracy. Tinubu has been there. We all know that. Tinubu has been in the forefront. He was the leader of Nadeco. He occupied Nigeria during Goodluck Jonathan. One would have thought that because of Tinubu, because of the fact that he has played opposition leadership for a long time, remember what he did in Lagos, even while Obasanjo, as tough as Obasanjo was, he still remained in the opposition with the ACN, and Obasanjo couldn't do anything about it. And then he expanded his clout into the areas, you know, the southwest area. So he stayed there for a long time. You could tell that this guy is out for anything and everything, especially as it relates to the issue around opposition and democracy. So in everybody's mind, because of his antecedents, you would think that this guy is perfect. This guy can become a very fantastic president. This guy can be a very good president if he had stayed in the opposition for a long time and fought in Nadeco, fought the military leadership, and he had to go on exile at some point. You know, I mean, this guy would be a better president because he now knows, as someone who is in the opposition, what not to do when he becomes the president. But just like the commenter said earlier, that look, it is not because these guys are fighting for true democracy in our country. It is because they were not called to the table to eat. It is clear. And that's the reason why, for me, I'm not putting so much hope on Peter Obi. A lot of you have been singing about Peter Obi being the Messiah, being the kind of person. Yes, with his antecedent, with his prudence in saving resources, and was able to leave certain amount of monies in the bank in Anambra, one would say, okay, I mean, he's somebody that will not be wasteful. But aside that, guys, they are all the same thing. They are all the same thing. Like, it's even scary for me as somebody who has followed Tinubu for a long time. And it was more like an excitement. Okay, this person that has been in opposition, let him come and try and see what he can do with leadership. But Tinubu has proven to us that being in opposition for a long time doesn't vitiate the fact that you will be a tyrant when you become president. Is there anything else that happened under the military that is not happening under Tinubu? Is there anything? Is there anything? Can someone tell me anything that has happened in military that is not happening under this government? Tell me. You sit down in one fell swoop, pronounce that the governor is being removed. Is that I don't get it. And then People speak and criticize you. You want to go after them. You threaten their lives. You cut off their businesses. You cut off their communications to them because they want to be in the opposition. Tinubu was in opposition for a long time. If Obasanjo wanted to do something sinister to him at the time, he would have. This man is coming for the military. He would have done anything to Tinubu at the time, but he didn't. But look at the practice. You claim to be a champion of democracy, and you are decimating opposition deliberately. You are poking your hands on opposition, and then you come and say, I'm not the one that is doing it, though. You people should not call me as the one that is doing it, though. I'm up for opposition. But yet, you are cajoling former leaders to join your party, former leaders to prevail on the people that they have brought, to prevail on the people that they have that are current governors, threatening that if they don't, you are going to use EFCC against them. Okowa Obovowere is one. Akwa Ibom governor is another. We hear you're also doing, I mean, Rivers is foregone conclusion because it's in your pocket already. So, I mean, what else wouldn't we see in the name of democracy? What else wouldn't we see? What else wouldn't we find in the name of we are democratic, we are there, we are pushing democracy? This democracy about coming speeches, coming to honor people? Is it what democracy is about? For crying out loud, democracy is not about that. Democracy is more about showing to the people that they matter. What policy in this particular administration in the last 2 years have shown that this government really, really, truly cares for people? What policy? Which one are people oriented? Which of them? Just name one policy that the government has done and implemented. And beyond the implementation of those policies, we are seeing it get to the critical end. If it is implementation of building a national hospital or a certain edifice or renovation of the vice president's building, the money is quickly given. If it is renovation of ICC, 39 billion, the money is quickly given. If it is increase of salaries of elites, the money is quickly thrown at them. If it is any other, but if it is anything that has to do with the masses, you see bend, you see corruption inside of it, you see delays. NYSC money that was announced since last year, the increase of NYSC's salaries from when they announced the minimum wage adjustment from 30 to 70 or 75, 77, some states are doing 70,000 naira. NYC was supposed to have been receiving 77,000 naira, but that stalled because it was for the good of the masses. It stalled for a long time. It took a certain riot on TikTok to practically cry and beg online for the government to remember that they have not implemented what they're supposed to have implemented for the masses. Look at the so-called student loan, still shrouded in so much secrecy. ICPC is saying that there's fraud that they're going to investigate. The NEL fund people are saying that nothing is missing. The university that the students are enrolled in will withhold the money, use the money for something else, and will not even inform the student that monies have been paid for their school fees, and they go ahead and pay that same school fees that the government has already been paid for. When it is about the people, you people don't care. It's none of your business. When it is for your elite group, it's quick to dish out monies. It's terrible. It's terrible. So let me just read out for those who are pretty late on the live. Presidential spokesperson Daniel Bwala has called out the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023, Peter Obi, over his recent criticism of the Bola Tinubu administration. Bwala, the special advisor on policy communication to President Bola Tinubu, suggested that Peter Obi should have no position on issues on June 12, 1993, since, according to him, the former Anambra State governor was in Asia buying and selling and has no record of participating in the struggle. Obi, during the Democracy Day celebration, called on Tinubu to follow the footsteps of former Presidents Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan. Obi told the president to emulate ex-President Yar'Adua in accepting the process through which he came to power was wrong. He also said that the president should be like Jonathan, who saved Nigeria's democracy by accepting defeat. Peter Obi and his camp have always insisted that the 2023 presidential election was marred by irregularities and its results should not have stood. Obi also said that there is no democracy under the administration of Bola Tinubu. In a post on X on Friday evening, Bwala felt that the former governor should not comment on issues of democratic struggle in Nigeria. He wrote, quote, "Please, can someone confirm to me whether it is true that on June 12, 1993, and weeks after that Peter Gregory Obi, was in Malaysia or somewhere in Asia doing business and selling trading business? I searched the internet to see any of his involvement in the struggle for democracy. I couldn't see any link." Meanwhile, some Nigerians commented under the post by Bwala, who was a frontline critic of the Tinubu administration, but now a defender of the government. At Udo_DC responded saying, "Can you show any evidence of Tinubu's involvement in the struggle for democracy during the period you referenced, aside from fleeing to London to cool off?" Uncle Dilly even housed him at some point. At Al Farmers wrote, as at the time you mentioned, he was running a multi-million-dollar business. He ain't much older than you are, but I wonder where you were at the time. It is very nice that you said he was running a legitimate business, not that he was dealing drugs or laundering money. What do you even mean by struggle for democracy? This is becoming interesting. Nigerians can really give you a buzzbuzz if you're not in for it. I'm sure that you're going to hate yourself or even trying to write certain things, especially when it's issues regarding politics and polity. Most of those you referred to did whatever they did, not for the sake of our country, but for the same reason of grabbing power, which they have been consistent with. Could every Nigerian have been in the field marching on the street in a bid to return the country to civil rule? Did the Constitution say that it is only those who were on ground at the time that can lay claim to the #1 seat of Nigeria? Sometimes when some of you talk, I ask questions as to how your brains function. This is crazy. Anyways, another person wrote at Coleman12 Francis, "You are a waste of legal education if you actually claim that you are a lawyer. Let us assume that Tinubu fought for democracy in 1993. Are you suggesting that he should be a life president? If fighting for democracy qualifies him to be the president, as your post suggests, what shall we say for those who fought for independence? What indices in Tinubu's government have shown that he has an idea what democracy means? Daniel Bwala, the hunger that made all these charlatans never leave you and yours now and generations ahead." Nigerians are not just having it. The Nigerians are not just having it. They want to eat him up. And speaking of Daniel Bwala, really, I mean, who takes him seriously? Who really does take him seriously? I don't think there are anyone who takes him seriously, given what has happened over time. We've seen how he over the years dovetailed, you know, the things that he said. You can't hold him account to the things that he has said over time. I mean, these are the words that he has used before. Even if you give Tinubu 30 years, nothing will work. That's the person he lobbied to go and work for. I mean, sometimes even when somebody like Tinubu accepts your appointment to join him, I think most of the time it's about him trying to belittle you. How does Daniel Bwala come out right now and be somebody who anybody would want to respond to or be credible? Like, you said all sorts of unprintable words against the APC. You said all sorts of unprintable words against the president, Tinubu. And then you lobby to now want to go and work for him. It's almost seems as if they have the same syndrome with Reno Mokri. Once anybody is in power, they tend to want to be on their good books. They tend to want to be on their good books. The only thing is that it was just very, very, very small thing. The only reason why Reno Mokri did not lobby to work in Buhari, it was because Buhari largely gave knocked out his boss. Buhari was the one that removed food from the table of Reno. That is the reason why Reno did not lobby at all to work for Buhari. But trust me, if it was somebody else, say if it was somebody totally different from Buhari that won that election, he would have joined the person. Now he's now in APC. He worked for Atiku to come to power in 2023 against Peter Obi, and because Peter Obi also was one instrumental to cutting off Atiku's votes in the East. Of course, imagine if an Atiku and Peter Obi ganged up in one ticket, president and vice, they would have won that particular election by far in terms of the margins. I'm talking about 16 to 8 million, you know. That's what would have happened. But Peter Obi knocked him, removed was the reason why Atiku lost that election. And Atiku too was the reason why Peter Obi lost that election. And so because of that, it's a no-go area. He would rather jump into the lagoon than support Peter Obi, because Peter Obi, like Buhari, removed food from his table. So this guy now that has come, it looks like a fresh meat. Maybe they haven't caught up with his antics. And so he started supporting him. Any small thing, he throws support to Tinubu. And this guy is hungry. He's been out of government for a long time. He has to pay his rent. He has to do other things in order to fend, to eat. So that's the reason why, largely, he is going about, doing all sorts of things and saying all sorts of nonsense. But I would love you to tell me what you think, though. I'd love to hear from you, as always. Tell me what you think about this development. It is going to be like this up until the elections in February 2027. I mean, we haven't seen the last of it. We haven't seen the best of it. We haven't seen the falsetto of it. It is coming. There is a thunder coming when it comes to politics. But we look forward to it, and we're here for it. We're going to be here to analyze all of the best of it. But I appreciate you. Drop me a comment if you will. Ask questions and even react to any of the topics that have been treated. We appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one. It's 9:05 in the morning, and it's a Saturday, the 14th of June. Take care.